The Western Center for Research on Migration and Ethnic Relations. Immigrant Experiences in Canada.
Well, I came here to Canada with my family, my husband and my two kids, and it was kind of a difficult decision to make. We used to have a business in Mexico, and something went wrong, the economy, some things like that, and we needed to begin again. At that moment, we were wondering if we wanted to begin in Mexico again or if we wanted to go somewhere else. And Canada was always on our minds, but actually we didn't even know the country. So we decided to come first as students, to learn French because we went to Montreal, and just to invest in the experience and see if we really wanted to come with all the family. So we did that and spent some months in Montreal and loved the city and the country, and finally we applied for the residence. We were almost sure that we were going to be successful because we were adding in the points, in the point system. We were here, we had friends, we learned French and things like that. So we applied for the residence. We went back to Mexico and waited for the papers to be ready, the visa, and it was a year and a half later that we got it, and then we came back to Canada.
Yes.
Okay, when we came as landed immigrants, we went to Winnipeg, and it was not what we thought that it was going to be because our experience was Montreal. So for us, Montreal was like Canada. And well, we went to Ottawa too. So it's very nice too and different from Winnipeg. Winnipeg is in the prairies. And it's in nowhere, the nowhere land. And it's not like the prairies maybe. I really don't know what is it. I think the only thing that I like from Winnipeg is the sky. And other than that, it's really cold. There's a lot of Aboriginal population, and that makes a lot of social problems. And for me, it was to be in the third world of the first world. So it was kind of that. So I said, I'm not coming from Mexico to be in a place like this. I needed to be there because I was at the university there, at the University of Manitoba, and I was looking to move from there, definitely. So it was difficult. But when I arrived to Winnipeg, we spent 2 years there. So we find help. The first thing my husband did, he went to the International Center. That is something like the cross-cultural center here, I think. And there, I think that he was the one that take much more advantage from that, because I was at the university. So everything I needed, I was there in the university asking for help, and that helped me a lot. Being in the university setting, because if I had any kind of problem or questions, there was always someone to help me. So even I had a student body or something like that that helped me in whatever I needed. But for my husband, the international center, it was good to do the benchmark thing, language thing, and translations, and get to know where to go. So he was always relying on that. I can remember the first time that we needed to make taxes, he went there to ask how to, and they sent him to a free place where there are volunteers and make you everything. So it was good, it was helpful.
That's great. How do you feel about being in Canada now?
Oh, I really enjoy it. I like it. I'm very happy. I love the city where I'm now, London. It's really nice. I like that it's a small place, and because I have kids, I think it's a very good place for my kids to grow up. So I like it very much. If I was thinking being just my husband and myself, I would like to be in a bigger city. But because I have two boys, they are 11 and 13, I love to be here. What I miss the most is my family and my friends. I think that that's something that it's going to be always there, always missing. And even if I can make new friends, it's never like those friends that are your old friends, like old, I don't know. I miss that a lot. And I can remember once a priest told me that you have to like substitute one friends with another, and so it's kind of awkward, but in a certain way it's like you have to, because if not you're always thinking about them. And I am always emailing like my best friends, and I have to build up here like new friendships, and it's gonna take time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Totally.
someday I will be there, I think. Thanks. But one of the things that I have learned here is that I can do much more things than in Mexico. Like, for example, in Mexico, I never was doing like bread. We have like sweet bread to eat that I cannot find here. So I have been trying like I don't know how many recipes just to find the perfect one. And in Mexico, I don't need to do that. But here, I do that, and even I enjoy it. And I share my bread with others, like when I make it, because of course it's part of our culture. So I know other Mexicans, and when I have my bread, I say like, "Hey, I made bread," and they're like, "Oh wow, that's so great!" Things like that. I miss that people is really warm, and what else? The color. I miss the color of Mexico, you know. It's really beautiful, and it's much. I think that's why I like Montreal. It's more like Latin than here. So, yeah, that's what I think I miss. I know that I have to move from London, and I don't like that. I'm happy here, and I know, like, I already know that it's going to be painful, like to begin again. And my sons, they don't want to move again because they have friends now here. So it's been like moving from Mexico to Montreal, then back to Mexico, then to Winnipeg, now to here, and then again. So it's always in the move, and to build up friendships is really hard. And I mean, we are social entities, so you really need that to be happy and successful wherever you go. So that's one of the things that I would really don't want to do, like to move again, but I will have to. And I would love to stay in Canada, but I'm not sure that I will because of the job market. But definitely I will try to stay here because I can see myself like doing my life in this country. I'm a resident. We already applied for citizenship, so we've got our file number like 6 months later. It was like, it's been taking forever. There's been people that told me that they had like everything like in 2 months or 3 months, and we sent papers in July, and I think it was the last days of November that we received the letter that, oh, here's your file number, and we're going to begin to make all the paperwork for citizenship. And so, like, well, we are not in a hurry. We're just waiting for that. But I mean, we're doing everything because we want to stay here. I like the education system. I like the health system, even though there's a lot of people that complain. I mean, they don't know what it's really to have a bad health system. So I like that very much. For example, now with the H1N1 vaccination, like in my country, they still don't have it for the general population. So they have received like the first batch for the employees of health places or whatever. And I think like for the general population, they're gonna get it until February. So that's the way you gotta know that you live in a first world country. Like it's not just like the name or because the economy, it's much more than that. So I feel that we are like really fortunate to be here. And yeah, I like a lot of things. I like the culture. I love to go everywhere and listen to different languages all the time. And I think that a lot of Canadians, they are very used to that. That's the way it is. But for me, it's always like surprising me.
It's always new.
It's neat. I love it.
The immigration process sounds really frustrating. Does that affect your sense of belonging as a Canadian or as a future Canadian?
I don't feel like Canadian. I don't know if I ever will. You know, maybe one day. I really don't feel. I don't even think that having the citizenship will make me feel Canadian. I think that I always feel Mexican.
Cool.